Have Mr. EG InControl himself here. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. How do you think things have been going so far this weekend?
You know, day one was really rough. A lot of issues. Things that are very much so indicative of a first-time run. Obviously, you know, any kind of experienced tournament organizer or company would look at it and go, you know, how did we miss that? But for us, it's like a, shoot, now we know. So the nice thing is that for day two and hopefully day three and onward, you know, screens are working, the stream's immaculate, sound is good. These are the things that need to happen for a show. I mean, if you go to a movie and you can't see the screen, then screw that movie, right? So hopefully it continues to improve and move in the right direction, and if so, then I think we got a great event. Yeah,
it's been good so far for me. You are not going to be casting with NASL next season, right? Mm-hmm. Is that because you're transferring into being a full-time player, or something else?
It's absolutely because of that. I loved my experience here and my time here, but it's a 9 to 5 in a state that's away from my car, my family, my friends, and just revisiting the 9 to 5 idea. It means that I can't spend time practicing. And StarCraft, there's no pro gamer at a high level who says, oh yeah, I play for about 35 minutes a day whenever I can get the time in. Who cares? They're not doing well. You need to play 8 to 10 hours a day, and it has to be with other people that are playing 8 to 10 hours a day. So in order to win tournaments, you have to do that. And I'm okay with placing well, but I'm not okay with being okay. I want to be great. So I need to practice more, I need to get better, and in order to do that, I need to train with other professionals in a pro gaming house like Arizona.
So what has been the most difficult part of being a pro gamer for you, on a personal level, more or less?
The most difficult part about being a pro gamer would be balancing the rest of your life. I think for me, it's really important to be physically fit and healthy and happy. And the other thing that StarCraft does is it can throw other things out of whack. So like if I have an MLG coming up, I might be pressuring myself to really train. So I'll be like, can I afford the 2-hour round trip it takes to go to the gym, work out, and come back? And sometimes I decide no, but then I have a bad day training, and then I'm eating fast food because I don't have time to make right food. And all of a sudden, you're not happy because your body's not happy. So that's just an example. Other things happen too. It's been hard on Ann and I from time to time. It's been great lately because we're figuring things out. But if your girlfriend's not getting enough attention, you know, she's not happy. And if she's not happy, you're not happy, that's for damn sure. So I'm figuring those things out and learning to balance it and where to focus and when to focus. And I think that speaks to the experience. And of course, the unfortunate part is I'm 25 going on 26, so I have to make good on the time I have left in pro gaming.
Do you feel like you don't have much time left in pro gaming?
Well, I mean, I feel like I could do till I'm 50. I just think I'll look weird. Okay. So I have to do it and look good till I'm probably 30. But that's an arbitrary time frame. I mean, White Raw's still kicking. He's having a great time, doing wonderful. I just want to do it as long as it makes sense. So I need to provide for myself. I need to be happy, and I need to enjoy my time. I feel like I've put myself in a place in this world where if I'm working for money and I'm not happy doing it, I don't have to do that. So that's the choices that I make.
So would you say that eSports is not necessarily a lifelong pursuit of yours? That this is maybe more of a temporary thing?
No, I absolutely hope it is. I would love to play, not be able to play anymore, cast, not be able to cast anymore, and then manage. I'd love to take on a team like a Sir Scoots or produce, you know, something. I'd love to be involved with it my whole life. So if I can, I will.
Has your family been supportive of your choices and career?
Oh, absolutely. My younger brother, plays competitively as well. He's on Quantic Gaming. He's rocker there. My sister's always admired it, and she brags to friends and stuff. And my mom and dad used to be like, you need to stop doing that damn game. And then I went to the national championship and won for Brood War. And now they're like asking me how my training's going. So since then, it's been a nice flip around.
Good. If you have a kid, will he or she be better than Mini Wheat?
I don't know, man. Mini Wheat, I mean, if I have a kid, when I have a kid, hopefully, I really want to just provide for them the scenario where they can feel happy doing whatever it is they want to do. So I play games, it's really important to me, but my dad worked on cars, and I don't like to work on cars. It's another chore someone would want me to do. So sometimes your son or daughter is different from you, and they want to do different things, and if they did, that'd be fine.
So no mandatory StarCraft, they have to play Protoss, otherwise you're a disappointment to the family?
They have to play action figures, and they need to go outside and throw a ball around. Other than that, they can do whatever they want. Well
said. Different than everyone else so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. When someone that isn't part of the esports community asks you, what do you do? How do you respond to that typically?
It's a funny question, because oftentimes when people ask me what I do and someone else answers, they say he plays video games professionally, which is not true. I'm terrible at most games, actually. I love the crap out of a lot of games like Dead Space, and I love me some Metal Gear Solid, but I'm nowhere near anything good at those games. I have prestige several times on Call of Duty. But I have to tell them I play StarCraft professionally, and they go, "What's that?" And I say it's a video game, and then they go, "How'd you sign up for that?" Which is always funny, because it's really hard to explain to people that are so outside of the community what that entails, because like I'll be like, "Oh, I went to such and such tournament and did okay," and they'd be like, "Oh, cool. Where'd you find out about that tournament?" And it's like, it's so detached from how things work that it's at that point in time you realize you have to break it down into real basic terms and explain to them what's going on.
Is there any particular player that, as a aspiring pro gamer when you were younger, that you really looked up to and really kind of tried to model yourself after?
I grew up playing Brood War, so my big hero at the time was Savior. He played a fairly low APM, map control oriented Zerg, and I played Zerg in Brood War. He did it and he looked like a badass the whole time. He was just an awesome player. Unfortunately, he made some bad choices, so he kind of fell out of there. And then I couldn't help but to gravitate towards a player like Jaedong, who still had the intensity and like the fear aura around him that a good Zerg player should have. But of course, he was better than everyone else on the planet, so he was a little bit alienating for me. I respected him, but I didn't necessarily look up to him. But it was probably Savior if I had to answer someone. Okay.
Would you say that Savior then was the most influential gamer in your life, or just the person that you looked up to the most?
You know, for me, I grew up in a community of gamers, so I wasn't raised up just off of gameplay. I hung out with Artosis, you know, the media guys, Machine, Elsea Gamer, Idra, Rhett. These are all people that I would wake up and go to sleep with every day, talking to about StarCraft and working on around them. I really admire Artosis' passion. I mean, if you talk to the guy, you absolutely can see that that's the most important thing to him, and it's like stupid that it wouldn't be, is his attitude. But then I also really like the way some guys go out of their way to make other people feel welcomed rather. I was a nub, obviously, for a long period of time in Brood War, and Testy from Canada, one of the best players there, really just took an interest in me, and he beat the snot out of me for many years, and he introduced me to other players who beat the snot out of me. But in giving me access to those better players and giving me attention, it just kind of fed and cultivated my competitive drive to be better and better. So I really have learned that a very little effort from my part going out to others that are trying to be good can go a long way, so I try to spread that.
Okay. Last question. Recently, there was a Supreme Court case, Brown versus the Merchants Association, or Entertainment Merchants Association, which ruled that violent video games, regardless of how violent they are, cannot be made illegal to sell to minors. Did you follow the case, or do you have an opinion on it?
I follow the subject, yeah. You just want to ask my opinion on it?
Opinion on it? You
know, I'm really fascinated by the concept. I just watched Playing Columbine, based on the RPG. Super Massacre something. It's about the Columbine RPG that was made. But the concept of video games and violence and how they relate to our youth fascinates me, because I'm not ready to say that violent video games equal violent youth. I grew up playing Spawn action figures where I had people's heads getting cut off and sent to hell all the time. We would go out in the woods and pretend to be knights and whip each other with sticks and stuff. So violence, I think, is just inherently a part of our culture, but even more so a part of, I want to say, like, male biology. Like, I think there's a certain part of us that's attracted to war and violence. So on the one hand, I think video games can act as an outlet for that, where obviously I'm not an armed hedgehog. I'm not a super mutant stomping a city, right? But it's cool. We still think that's awesome. So does doing that either create violent intentions within us, or does it get violent intentions out? I don't think that question's been answered. So the safest response to all of these things is that the parents should decide what the kids do or do not do, because some parents feel it's stupid that kids would watch movies that are bad or read a Goosebumps that might be too violent for them. And it should be at that level. So when the government comes in and says, we have decreed that all video games at this level of gratuitousness is inappropriate for kids, I feel like that is highly unintelligent. I really do, because if every kid was raised the same way, our society would not continue to grow. It's just not a good thing to do. Everyone has different capabilities, and it should be at the parental level.
Actually, this is the last question. What was your favorite match so far this weekend?
Favorite match this weekend? I think I was most emotionally invested in Dark Force versus Alive, just because I love the underdog story. Dark Force came here, nobody knew him from Adam, even though he beat Naniwa in the playoffs, which is an insanely awesome feat. And for him to sit toe-to-toe, go to a Game 3 against a top Korean on the stage for thousands of dollars is amazing. So probably that one, I would have to say.
Okay. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being part of eSports and doing what you do.
Thank you.